Beetlejuice, the animated series. So I'm going to be reviewing. By the time you've watched this video, I will have already reviewed Beetlejuice, the movie, and I'm doing that because Beetlejuice 2 is on the way, the long-awaited sequel that, let's be honest, does not look great, but we'll see. I did want to talk about the series as well. I love Beetlejuice as a kid, so when I found out there was a cartoon, and I did not grow up in the 80s, keep in mind this, I was very excited to watch it. So I bought some of the DVDs. Shout Factory did a weird thing where you could only buy like these right here, but then you can buy this. And it was like, oh, or you had the complete series option. So I watched some of the DVDs. I eventually was able to upgrade to this version, which I believe is out of print, and Warner Brothers put their own version out. So you can still get this show pretty cheap on DVD if you really want it. But I think this show is fine. I think it has a lot of pros for it. First of all, this show has a really good score to it and theme song. The theme song was actually worked on by Danny Elfman, who did the music for the first one with Burton. Burton didn't really have much to do with this show. He just produced it, and produced it really in name only. Like, he had a couple like moments where he had some say on it, from what I understand, but for the most part, he really had nothing to do with this show. I think this show is fine at being a creative show. It's got a lot of creative, weird stuff in it that they're able to play around with the spirit world and have some fun with it. And I think maybe the new Beetlejuice movie might be embracing some of that creative energy in this show into the movie, with some of the new characters from what it looks like. But I think where this movie where the show suffers for me, is not only does it have nothing to do with the movie it's based on, it's kind of gross when you think about it, because Beetlejuice is a womanizer who wants to be free, so he's trying to get hitched, right? That's the concept of the movie. So that girl that he was womanizing, a child, keep mind you, and trying to get hitched to, is now his best friend, and they hang out in this show, which is very bizarre. And that's why I say you can enjoy this show, but you really gotta ignore that movie, which is really hard when the main character of the show is Beetlejuice and has the same name as the fucking movie. So I think this kind of show really only works for people who grew up with it. And I'm not unhappy that I have this. I think it's a cool box set, and I did watch all 94 episodes. Yes, all 94. So I could talk about with you guys. I do think the later seasons, animation-wise, kind of dropped off, but I do think some of the stories and writing got a little bit better, but that was just for me. But for the most part, this show is just a bad concept where 80s was taking these movies like RoboCop, Rambo, turning these into cartoons for kids, and it just does not work or translate. And at least with those, though, you could do it and make it fun. Beetlejuice is just, you're turning a womanizer into like a fun, goofy character for kids, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think anybody came out being harmed by it, but it also doesn't feel quite right watching this show.